Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, the home of Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right USC podcast, for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Yes, it's time to fight on. Fight on like your life depended on it here on the Student Body Right USC podcast here. Dwayne Douglas here, kicking in with you guys. I know I've been 13, 14 days since the last podcast. We'll definitely be more consistent on a more consistent schedule. But just, I got sick and then the draft happened and then, Russell Wilson became a Bronco. All kind of things happened out here and on the West Coast as far as football goes, but USC is definitely trying to shine through as far as that goes. Lincoln Riley, head coach of the team, we talked about it before. Wants to, obviously he's a play caller, so he wants to score a lot of points, wants to score an abundance of points, but he also wants to run the football. So I think that's something we got to talk about on the podcast, is that he wants to pull those guards. He wants to run the ball right in your throat and then just smash you right in the mouth. And I think that's something that really, you're going to see that part of USC come back, where you are able to kind of just be proud that they're going to be tough, a physical football team, a team that can go play in weather and be able to just knock people out with a big offensive line. Now, this year we have to wait and see with the offensive line. Before the big time recruits, maybe next year, the year after that on the offensive line. I know everybody's happy with some of the players we got, Caleb Williams, Mario Williams, all stuff like that. But it's like, hey, where's the beef as far as the defensive line, offensive line? I would say that beef is coming. Just give it a time to marinate a little bit. And USC will be all right with that one. But yeah, listen, like Utah's going to be good. You got Oregon up there. They're usually a good football team as well. So it's not like it's going to be a cakewalk in the Pac-12. USC has to make sure that they're able to run this offense. And part of running this offense, a big part of running this offense is running the football. And I think Lincoln Riley is going to be able to do that. And it starts with the offensive line, and also starts with some talented running backs. And I told you last episode that we talk about some running backs here. So let's talk about some running backs now. And I do think one of the guys who everybody's excited about is Raleek Brown. So Raleek Brown definitely is just a fantastically gifted running back, kind of an all-purpose back, a guy who I know that a lot of you want to put him in that. You want to, because it is just cool to look back and look at number 5 and just watch him just run by people and just do all these amazing things, because Reggie Bush was Reggie Bush. I mean, he was one of the all-time best, not only USC Trojans of all time, but he's one of the best flat-out players in college, the history of college football. Like, I mean, Reggie Bush was amazing. And Raleek Brown, I don't want to put him in that class of class, but he does have some traits where you say to yourself, hey, you get him behind a big offensive line, doesn't take much for him to take it to the house, because, those big uglies up front, those student body right folks up front, you're not going to be able to see him back there. He's 5'8", 185 pounds. Like, once he gets to the second level, it's a blur. And once he puts his foot in the ground, I've seen him just run by some really talented players in high school. And it's high school, and you can say whatever you want, but modern day is modern day, and they play really, really good talent. They play some great talent in high school. So can it transfer to him? I want to see what he does in the screen game. That's what I'm really excited about. Is like watching what he does in the screen game is going to be cool. When they want to put him at, in a slot receiver and get him matched up with linebackers, all those things are going to be on the table for Raleek Brown in the future for the USC Trojans, because he's that gifted of an athlete, has hands too. So it's not like, he's not like his stone hands here. He's definitely a guy who can definitely do a lot of really, really great things with the ball in his hands. You got to find creative ways to do it. And sometimes they're going to just line up and just say, we're going to run the ball right at you. And good luck finding this speedster who has moves, who has fluid hip, ability, hips as far as that goes, and can put you in really bad situations if you are not a sound tackling team. And even if you are, I mean, I've seen him line up people and just like it's right here, boom, go to the right, boom, go to the left. And he just, he definitely knows that spin button on Madden. Like he knows that button already, even though he's not a pro player yet. I mean, he definitely knows that as well. But Raleek is going to be a problem in this conference for a while. And I think the one thing I like about Raleek too is like he was probably coming to USC regardless of who the head coach was. So if it was Clay Helton, he probably was still going to come. The good thing about it is it's not Clay Helton. The good thing about it, it's not, also ran or a guy who doesn't believe in 5-star talent. I mean, you got Lincoln Riley there. So, I mean, it would be fun to see what Lincoln Riley can do with a Raleek Brown and on this football team. So that'd be fun to watch as well when you see that. I think one of the biggest, as far as the transfer portal guys that everybody's going to love is the dynamic of kind of running this offense with Caleb Williams, but then also Travis Dye from Oregon. I think Travis Dye from Oregon is going to be that's just a perfect fit for this offense because he's going to add a little spice to this running game, right? Yeah, he's going to be a guy who runs a little power, you're going to see like a couple of maybe some of these Earl Campbell runs where, he's going to be a guy who you're going to see just run over people, run by, just be that, give you those tough yards. I mean, he's going to be a fan favorite for really quickly. I mean, really quickly going to be a fan favorite for a lot of people with the Trojans. Just really been a really 100% a tough running back, just like a guy who just you might he won't have some of the intangibles that some of the great ones have, right? But just a guy who could just physically just late in the game. It's 27-24 and you need that second and 2 and you give it to him and you're just tired of tackling him all day and he gets a big run for like a 20-30 yard run to kind of ice the game for USC. That's that's what you're gonna get. That's what you get from a Travis Dye. I mean that is something that's gonna be cool to see. Him and he's that kind of special. He's a special kind of running back as far as that goes. So looking for him to make some big plays as well. I'm excited about what he brings to the table with USC. And we'll show you some highlights of what he's done, what he's done in the past. But he's a really good player. Really good player, and I'm looking forward to him. I'm not sure if catching the ball out of the backfield is really a strength of his. I think you got to put it in his belly and then let him do his thing. But that guy's going to be a house for USC as well. Austin Jones. So the thing with I can tell you what I worry about with him a little bit is the way he kind of runs he kind of runs very straight up when he's running the football. So that's something that that I worry about a little bit with him. But this is going to be, like I said, this is going to be an opportunity for a multitude of guys to get opportunities to get the rock. A multitude of guys to be able to help this offense move the football on the ground, because moving the football on the ground is huge. You have to be able to move the football on the ground. There's no other way to kind of say it or convey it. You really desperately need to be able to run the football on the ground to be successful in a Lincoln Riley offense. It just doesn't make, you're wasting your time if you're not gonna be able to do that. It helped a lot of his, the Kyler Murrays, the Baker Mayfields, people like that they have a running game. And I think you'll see some of the creative stuff here with Lincoln Riley coming up with these running backs here. So, Austin Jones is a senior. We'll give him from the transfer portal. Maybe weaken Stanford a little bit, but I mean, when you play Stanford, right? A lot of Stanford is they just test your toughness, right? Like that's all they want to do is just test your toughness. So I think that's something that a page out of what they want to do is like can USC do the same thing? Can they just test your toughness as far as that goes? It's really a big thing when you want to run the football and you keep running at people, you're testing their toughness. And that's why the some of the success that Stanford has had is that they were able to test people's toughness. And I think that's what USC is going to be able to do with Dye and Jones here. They're going to test your toughness. They're going to see how long you want to get punched. How long do you want to sit in the arena with these running backs and take a beating? Now, the offensive line has to do their job. Obviously, we know that, but I do think it's going to be some creative ways to get them the football. You got to get them the football. You got to do what you got to do, whatever you got to do to get them the football in positive situations. I think, obviously, the hands part of it, you got to be able to throw it and catch it a little bit. And then when it does come down to those moments where you have to be able to say and look at the other team and say, listen, we know you're going to run it. We know you're going to run it. I know you're going to run it, but my guys are still going to get that first down. And I think that's something that's going to be a huge thing. And I think Dye's going to be huge on that. Jones, and then we'll see how they integrate Brown in the future. But I mean, that's going to be huge. That's going to be a really big thing to see what they do in this run game. That is so. I mean, it's unique. I mean, they spread you out, and then they want to run power right at you, like right in your face, And do they have the horses up front to do that? I mean, that's going to be something that we have to kind of wait and see to see if can they do those powerful things that he was able to do in Oklahoma early on at USC. I mean, that's the biggest question here. Also, spring practice is around the corner, so definitely you want to check so we'll check out, see who's doing well, who's not doing well there. It could be more people coming, so we'll see who comes as well. But he has been actively around the program, actively around the USC basketball team, who's having a good year. They lost to UCLA the other day in a really good game on ESPN. Bill Walton was doing his thing. Bill Walton's just a clown as well. But yeah, the running backs are going to be, like I said, the running back is a big situation here. And what we're going to do is kind of look at some of the breakdowns that I have for some of these running backs. You'll see some footage from Dye, from Jones, from Brown, and we'll see. We'll really see what happens as far as that goes. But the USC running game is going to be a big part. It's going to be a big part of it, and like I said, it's a part of being in that situation where you test, like I said before, test that toughness. Are you willing to fight? Are you going to be willing to bang with me the whole night physically on that field? And I think that's what we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see if USC can do that. And that's going to be a huge part of USC football going forward. So on some wide receivers, we'll hit up on that. We'll hit up on some wide receivers. We'll hit up on some of that offensive line. And we'll do wideouts, and we'll do what the cornerbacks. And so we'll see what USC does as far as that goes. Wide receivers, cornerbacks later this week. We're gonna get on a good cadence for you fans, because I mean you have a great response to the podcast. I don't want I want to leave it for 14 days again. Hopefully I can just stay. I just had the worst cold you can ever imagine as far as that goes. Non-COVID, but still it was still a bad cold. So I couldn't do the show like I wanted to. But yeah, Student Body Right podcast here. Definitely check us out on follow us on Twitter, RTPW podcast, and then all the hashtags Student Body Right podcast. Definitely want to check that out as well. So listen, we'll see you next time, and we'll talk some wide receivers, some cornerbacks. Quarterback is going to be huge as far as this team goes. Everybody's in a passing league, whether it's the NFL or whether it's college football as well. So, and Drake London is going to kill it in his pro day, and he's going to be the first. I think he should be. I'm hoping that he's not the first wide receiver, because I love when people go from, USC fight on to become part of Raider Nation. So that would be a nice target for Derek Carr in a division that is loaded at quarterback now, with Russell Wilson coming over to Denver Broncos. So next time, fight on. Peace. Listen, you've made it to the end of the video. We appreciate that time. Like, comment, all those things. Subscribe to the Student Body Right USC podcast, and click on some other episodes and Raider Nation if you want to join in too. Let's go. Fight on.